An official hello and welcome to this Q&A, the third masterclass on one hand, and the first half-life session for those who bought yet the course from Voice Alchemy. And I'm so happy to invite you to this journey. I think we have a few questions, time for a few questions, and then a little surprise at the end that we end somehow between 30 and 50, 60 minutes, something between that corner that you know what is happening. And now I welcome everybody. And Carol, I love to see you again and welcome for you especially. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Always such a pleasure to be in this space with you and your tribe. So happy to be here again today.
Yes, and I love your background. You just asked me if it is okay, and I said, sure, it's looking really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool,
And we
right?
know everything is like energy, and it's when something changes in our point of view, it opens up a space in our whole system that the mind is somehow playing in his child room and everything is quiet and the soul can go on.
Exactly. Got to give the soul some space to
Yeah.
play, right? Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna do a Q&A today, yes? Some take some questions from you and our guests on the channel. Great. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I have a
And if there are questions and then if they want to write them in German, I can translate them in English as well too. That is what I wanted to say at this point right now. Thank you, Carol.
perfect. Perfect. Great. Great. So who's gonna kick that off?
Pardon? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Who will kick that off?
I am the interviewing girl here in this room. I will have the first.
Great.
I have the power over the room. Nobody can come in front of me. I'm joking. No, but I just in the last session, in the second masterclass, where we had such a nice experience with ourselves and in our bodies, where we tuned in, I would say, and just let us ourselves feel what is about tuning and vibration and where is a sound exactly when you move up and down your range. Yeah, it was really interesting. And I just asked my question first, so I am the first tonight.
Yeah, you get the
And
you get
after this nice exercise, yeah, where we need to go by ourselves into and do it with ourselves, because in the online session, you can't give us so many time and space between. It wasn't a workshop, just a master class to get information through the internet to your home that you are inspired and can practice and go on for yourself. So I wanted to know what is it about the power of the voice in the case of loud volume, singing soft and really not hearable, and bringing bringing it out really loud with a power that I guess or think my hearers tracking.
so I'm not, can you clarify what your question
The
is?
question is, what is the difference for the body, for taking breaths, for example, what is necessary to know, and what should we know about the difference between singing loud and not so loud? Because the sounds are sounding different.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. It's a good question and it's a great conversation because volume is one way, the misuse of volume is one way that people can really damage their what I call their pipes, right? Yeah, our pipes. Our voice instrument can suffer from the misuse of not just the misuse of volume. Volume can be fine if we're using the instrument properly, right? We have to know how to properly use volume. And as we will learn in the course, um, using the soft palate, controlling the diaphragm, these are two of the muscles that we are working with to help control the volume and to be in charge of how we're using volume. It's very important because a lot of people, when they're bringing a lot of volume through their voice, what happens is in that moment, our DNA, the memory of our DNA kicks in, and the body thinks that we're screaming, like trying to run away from the tiger, right? And in that moment, that that energy is more of what the body is thinking is like a fear or a protection, the fight and flight energy of the sympathetic nervous system, and that it causes tension in the muscles, right? So it causes everything to come up and pull up and tense, right? And the volume gets really high, which means the vocal folds are vibrating very fast, and they're using more energy and more power to vibrate for that high pitch. Everything is getting tense, and with tension, with using the voice, we have to find that beautiful in between, that beautiful medium between tension and relaxation. Right? We have to use some level of tension, but we also have to use some level of relaxation, and we have to be very conscious of balancing the two as we phonate, as we make sound and vocalize. So if the body thinks that it's in that uh, fight or flight mode and everything is becoming tense, then it's like everything, there's no room, there's too much strain, right? There's too much strain and stress in the system, and that is never good for the voice, ever. So with volume, we have to learn to use our control, the airflow, which is the power really behind the projection of the sound, right? We have to make sure that there's plenty of space here, right? And the soft palate gets lifted up and the tongue is relaxed at the same time, depending on depending on a lot of other variables too. There's going to be some level of tension and use of these muscles, right? But we have to be able to get them really nice and get this space nice and open so that the sound can come out. If this closes down, it constricts the flow of the air. The air can push back down into the vocal tract and cause damage here with the vocal folds, with too much pressure coming up and down with the air. There's a lot of things that can happen when we misuse volume. And so training the instrument so that we can project our sound in a way that we're heard with power, with resonance, with control. Yeah, this is very important. Does that kind of approach answering your question?
Yeah, I asked that way as well because, I play on the harmonium, and when I sing, mm, there are different situations that I realize I'm getting pressure in my voice to become louder. And
Mhm.
my question is, long time now. Would it be better to have a microphone that I can relax my muscles and sing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's our singing and our phonating becomes very different and much more relaxed when we have that support of the technology to help with the amplification of the sound.
You know
100.
what? Yeah, just shortly, you know what's so magical? Because everybody is asking ever when he or she is doing personal development, what are the results? Yeah. And it's always hard to get this in line or you can't, it's so individual what's happening. What is the way for of the human being from the true self, especially who knows that, yeah, and the situations are changing and are unique and so on. But what I want to say, I am with you now, the first basic steps, not totally through, but at the end of the muscles and so on of the first course, yeah. And you know what? I am not a singer. I'm not a singer, but I went from the bathroom and I was so happy to put my nice dress on. Yeah, it's the first time I wear it. And suddenly, in a normal loudness of the voice, there came a song up. I
Mm.
recorded it because it didn't stop. And I was parallelly thinking about what is going on there, the controlling mind. Is she going crazy? Is everything okay? Do we need to secure her life? The part was there as well. And I was just singing and I enjoyed it so much. And I remember before I even when I was younger, when I started to sing, I always cried. It
Mm.
was such of a pain or a deeply touchness, or what is the word in English? A deep touched feeling in my body.
Touched, deeply touched. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was afraid when I get my child that I can't sing for my child because I always cry.
Oh.
And it got a little bit better, but this situation, and even that I sit myself or set myself for the camera and recorded it,
Mm-hmm.
is not normal. That's not what I'm used to do, even if I recorded mantra songs, okay. But in this way, how it flows through me, and this is the magic happened in the sessions we had. I am counting it to our contact and to our way moving through even the muscles and some practical stuff with the voice. I want to honor the magic, what is happening.
Hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. That's perfect. And that's what we're talking about here is really becoming aware of everything that's happening when we really pay attention to the voice and we allow those intuitive sounds to come through at times. Yeah, when you're feeling so happy and fresh in your new dress, and it's like, oh, there's just like a song inside of me, and and noticing what happens. I mean, can you imagine if we didn't have the ability to make sounds when we're feeling something,
Hmm.
you know? When we're
Heavy.
feeling something, I mean, the happy, the sad, the mad, it's like the voice allows us to release those emotions. And at the same time, when we use the voice, it can catalyze, it can bring up emotions for sure, as you experienced. So there's so much power in the voice, and to have that real conscious awareness and control over how we're using the voice is a strong way to empower oneself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for answering.
Yeah.
Namio?
Do you have any questions about training your voice, about using your voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps how can I, what can I do to make it very playful? The heart together with the intuition and then the voice.
Yeah,
We
for sure.
just talked about it before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, it's just, really trusting the sounds that want to come through, if you I mean, if you're singing someone else's song, if you're singing an actual song, then really just tapping into the message and the meaning of that song and of course, bringing the feeling of the that the lyrics of the message of the song into your body and really feeling it. When we feel, our emotions really help and support the physical functioning of the voice
Mm,
in certain ways. And so really connecting to the feeling and emotion of the lyrics of a song, whatever the message is, will help to make your singing even that much more beautiful. But as far as just kind of intuitively playing with your voice, it's really just trusting what you're hearing inside and just letting it come through. I mean, it took me a little while to really relax into that when I first started my sound healing practice and singing for others in a way where I was just kind of where I do tap into the energy of the space and the energy of the people in the room and what they might need for balancing and healing and inspiration or whatever tones that their energy body or their soul is calling for. And it took some practice to do that
mm,
and to really let go and just allow without getting the brain in the way. Like, oh, does it sound right? Do they like it? Is this the right, is it
mm,
okay? How are they responding? And just all of that stuff and just letting it go and just bringing the sounds through whatever just happens to be there and in each and every moment, you know? And it becomes such a fun, playful thing to find, oh, what's coming next? It's always a bit of a little surprise and yeah, it's super fun. And now now I find myself just automatically doing just toning and phonating, or if I get into a meditative space, the sounds just, it's like my body just can't help but bring the sounds through, you know? So it's a practice. It's a practice for sure. It's a practice of getting the body tuned into that allowance, that permission. So many of us have restrictions and resistances around the voice and really giving ourselves permission to vocalize, to
mhm,
speak, to sing,
mhm,
to share our thoughts and ideas. Um, I will say, especially as women, have experienced that a bit more in this life, in these lifetimes. And so there's a lot of traumatic memory attached to being
mhm,
seen and heard.
mhm,
And it's really important to practice that by on our own by ourselves and get comfortable with that and letting that translate into our lives, whether we're celebrating with others or just in a circle, in a conversational circle or exchange, and allowing the voice to just say what it wants to say, what's happening inside of here, what wants to be seen, what wants to be heard. And there's no better gift to not only to ourselves but to others than to share our soul selves with others. Otherwise, we're a herd tribe, right? We grow by interacting with each other, and we evolve through our interactions. And so, sitting back and just being silent, it's one thing. It's a beautiful thing to observe as well, and to have that balance, but also to not hold back, to let the sound, the songs, the speech, the sensations, the feelings, the emotions come through. And we never know how we really inspire and move others until we let ourselves do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Was a bit
sounds
long.
wonderful and feels wonderful. And I
Yeah,
remembered, I'm so sorry because of the video. I tried it 5 times, won't work.
quite all
Sorry.
right. It's okay.
Um, I remember uh, time ago, I always went through the whole day toning something.
Mm.
Oh, also go shopping like this, and I didn't recognize. Other people told me, Nami, you are always singing. I didn't recognize. And now, um, it's a different adventure. Shocking adventure years ago. I stopped singing, and that's don't feel that fine because it's together with my movement, my breath, and so I stopped myself in any way. Oh,
Mm.
my English is bad today. I'm so sorry.
Great.
Yeah.
uh,
Wir verstehen dich gut.
but that's the thing. The inner light wants to come stronger back as before.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yes, indeed.
It's on his way and bringing up old shit.
But what I does is 10 or 20 times a day. I don't know the name. It's a big bird, a wild bird in the forest, and I can do his sound. And every time I feel prisoned or controlled or whatever, I make this sound.
Can you do it for us?
Oh, oh, oh. I don't know if the sound of my computer will do this. Should I try?
Ja,
Yes, why not?
Okay.
a little bit comes through. You can put your original tone for musical on, Originalton für Musiker oben rechts.
Wo?
Bist du am Computer?
Ja.
Oben rechts müsste Originalton für Musiker stehen.
Oben rechts, Originalton von
Neben Ansicht eigentlich.
Ansicht habe ich.
Und
Nebenansicht.
da links daneben der Ansicht.
Da ist so ein Kästchen.
Hm,
The
Nee, bei
setting.
mir ist das, glaube ich, unten. Bei mir ist bei
okay.
Freigeben. Nee,
Mhm.
geht auch nicht. Also
Yeah,
stellt euch einfach einen Raubvogelschrei vor. Einen richtig
Ja,
lauten, langen.
schön.
And
Nice.
if I drive to the forest, because of the people and the guns, huh? I do the same sound to tell the animals, beware. And I hope they don't want to shoot me.
Aw, it's beautiful. We did hear a little bit of it, and it's a wonderful practice to mimic the sounds of nature. Yes, it really expands our vocal abilities. And I mean, it just connects us to all of those aspects of our life experience with nature. and it connects us to those, that tribe of species, that species. And I love doing that. I sit on my porch sometimes and just listen to the birds singing, and I try to do the same thing. It was really fun. And then I bring that also into my sound meditations. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice practice.
There is maybe Andrea has a question. I don't know. Andrea, hast du eine Frage auf Deutsch oder Englisch? And Namio, I wanted to say thank you, Namio. And Carol, it was so funny because I don't know Namio and me, we don't know in person, but we know from the course. She is one of the pioneers of sacred evolution now. And I was in Berlin with Sam Garrett, I told you. And there she was too. We just stand 1 meter away from each other and suddenly realized, wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, imagine that.
Yeah,
All right.
great, isn't it?
All
Crazy.
right. It's
Yes,
magnetizing.
I have to say something too to this.
Just say something.
For me, it's like the magic from Sam Garrett. It's not only Sam; it's the universe through Sam. Reminds me to my universe. It's
Yes,
like a soul brother.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
We are connecting more and more and more consciously, more and more. Great.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful time to be alive with all these energies just whoosh, expanding and pulling us together, magnetizing
A
us
great
together.
time
Yeah, it's
nowadays.
such a magical time to be on planet Earth.
Yeah. So Andrea has no question. She answered me in the chat in German. And I would like to say if you haven't seen before, then watch the first and the second masterclass. There are nice informations that are useful for you to go into your own experience and scientifics.
Are there practice in the video?
Yeah.
Ah,
Mhm.
super.
And yeah, and we are talking and talking as well for sure. But it's very, very interesting from my point of view. And now I would be really happy if you want to share something, Carrie, though, so to the end of this call today. Is there something you want to?
Um,
Mm,
you mean, can you clarify, please? Share in terms of,
yeah, with some toning intuitive, as you said before. Do you want to share that? Or is it too late now? I'm not sure. I was asking
oh,
because of the time.
no, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes, for sure. So it's a good segue from that conversation that Namio, am I saying it right? Yeah, brought up. The soul singing from the soul, right? Really touching and tuning in. The last master class we did a few days ago, we did quite an extensive version of what I'm thinking about just doing a few minutes here, just to kind of drop in for a moment rather than taking us through all of the tones, uh, and really paying attention to all of the things that are happening with the voice, right? That will just tune into whatever tone wants to come through us. And as we do that, just noticing, being aware of the mechanics of the physical voice, right? What are we noticing with, say, the air, the vibration, the breath, the muscles, all of the little parts inside of here that make up the mechanics of the voice, and but the energy, like, where in our body do we feel it? Our whole body expresses with the voice, right? It's not just here, It's the whole body is our voice, really. And so just noticing, where do we feel the energy of the tones that are coming through, right? Just a deep listening, a tuning in, starting with the breath and tuning in, and a deep listening inside the body for whatever, you can even, when we ask a question to our consciousness, our body, mind consciousness, it wants to respond. So we can ask it ourselves, what tone would you, and you can be specific, or you can just be general. What tone wants to come through right now? Or you can be specific. What tone is needed for this, ache in my back to help balance it and clear it up? Or, the headache, or any little pings or pangs that might be going on. Or, for just balancing my emotions, or for clearing my mind, or for finding that answer, that solution to a problem I'm thinking about right now, or for connecting more deeply to, the divine, my higher self, however you like to refer to that aspect. So you can be specific, or you can just be general and just listen in, tune in. And I want to explain it first so that I'm not talking as we're phonating, because we found that was a little bit of an issue last time. So I want to explain to you first the process, right? So everything I just said, and when you kind of latch on to a sound, a pitch, a tone, then you might also listen for what vowel sound is it? Is it an oo, ah, I, a, e? Is it something like that? Is it a word? Maybe it's a word. Love, peace, I don't know, whatever. um, and then just turn the volume up on that pitch, on that sound, on that frequency. Turn the volume up inside of you, right? So you can really get the clarity of that pitch. And then when you're ready, take a nice breath into your belly, all the way down into the low part of your lungs. Take a nice breath, and then let that sound come through. Just phonate, vocalize, let the sound come through. Listen, feel what's happening. What sound quality is it? Where's the energy? Where's the air? What's all the things that happen with the voice? How am I feeling? So it's just an awareness, right? So let go of the mind. Don't search for anything. Let go of the mind. Just notice what you might be sensing, right? This is such an important part of getting to know our voices, because as I've mentioned in the previous calls, this instrument is on the inside of us, and it is a integral part of us and who we are. And so letting go of judgments around the voice and getting to know this instrument that we can't see, feel, and touch, but that's inside here. So, does that make sense so far? And then just cycling with the breath, inhale and then phonating, and inhale, and let it just cycle around. And maybe it wants to move to different pitches as you do so. So maybe we can do that together for, I don't know, let's put maybe 5 minutes on the clock, right? And give ourselves a chance to really drop in. How does that sound?
Mega, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so
Hello.
I'm going to mute myself as well, because I don't want to influence what anybody's hearing. So I think we should do that. And then we'll come back after 5 minutes and share a little bit. Sound
Um,
good?
I would like to hear your voice and your play with your voice,
Okay.
that it's more like an invitation.
Okay. Okay.
It is a quality what you said as well, but we can do it when you are away from us. Yeah. So,
Okay, that's fine. I'm totally fine doing that and happy to do that. Just be sure that you're tuning into your sounds
and
and
if
not necessarily copying mine. You're welcome to copy mine if that feels good, right?
and if somebody feels disturbed by you, for this time you can slow down the volume on your own computer. I want to hear Carol.
True, true, true. Yeah, okay, that's true. That's an option. Okay, great. Sounds good. Okay, so are we ready?
Yes, thank you.
Let's just make sure. I think somebody said something in the chat.
Yeah,
Let's check.
thank you very much. It's so beautiful inspiration what you do, Andrea. Andreas. Sorry. Oh yeah. I have no glasses on my nose. I'm sorry. Oh, herrlich. In the beginning, I thought it is a woman. It's a man. Sorry. Ah, okay, let's start the toning.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. So let's just begin with a comfortable position. Okay. So um, making sure that you're comfortable and you're supporting your instrument. So you're not slumped over in any way, right? To scrunch the diaphragm and you're not scrunching anything here, but just kind of sitting up in a nice open posture, right? So this energy can flow through here. Okay. Great. And I invite you to just now close your eyes so you can tune inward. When our eyes are open, most of our energy goes outward. So we want to tune in and really focus into our inner beings and begin with just some nice deep breaths to really relax. And I know it's the end of your day. So, whatever energy you've put out into the world today, just calling it back, calling all of your energy back into your field and your body, right? And we can ask that it be purified upon its return in case there was any kind of funky things going on in your day today. And just taking a nice deep breath, do your best to breathe from the belly, letting the inhale begin all the way down into the lower part of the lungs. And then from there, it fills up and expands up through the rib cage and up into the chest and shoulders for a nice long inhale. And then just relaxing the exhale. And when you relax the exhale, just letting go of any stress or tension in the body and the mind. And connecting the exhale and the inhale so the breath is circular without any pauses. For this particular breathing practice, there's a lot of ways to breathe and they're all wonderful. But for this one, let's just connect the breath. Really relax the exhale, releasing all stress and tension as the air just falls out of the body. And then connecting to a nice, big, long inhale from the bottom to the top. And as soon as it's full, just letting it fall out again, pulling all of your energy inward and tuning in to your inner world. As you begin to feel yourself relax and not allow the distractions so much anyway of the mind, but really focusing inward, just noticing what is the feeling in your body right now? Any sensations as you breathe? And posing that question to the body, mind, soul, mechanism, the consciousness of the body. What tone would feel really good right now, right? What tone will bring me into balance, harmony, or any question that you would like to ask of your being, of your inner being, your body consciousness. Just breathe and listen. Don't search with your mind, just let go of the mind and listen for a tone. When you found that tone, just turn the volume up a little bit. Whenever you feel ready, just let that tone come through and cycle your breath with the sounds that intuitively want to be heard. And released. You can direct that tone to a specific part of the body if you're using it for healing something. Just bring your awareness and your attention to that part of the body. Okay, now I say nothing more but sound. Engage your body. Try moving your hands to conduct your voice. When you feel ready, return to silence and just notice the vibrations, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, inspirations, whatever's there for you. And as you feel ready, just gently fluttering open your eyes. Maybe a little sigh on your next breath.
May I say something?
Please use your voice.
It was so magical for me in my universe, it was just amazing how our tuning committed without doing it. because I know you couldn't hear me. It was crazy for me. I don't know what the others made for experiences.
Yeah.
Um, so such a deep feeling of, for me, it's feeling like in a big natural tube laying in the water in a nice body temperature water.
Love that. That's beautiful.
Andreas really enjoyed it too. Yeah,
I
great.
did. Did you change to, uh, you know, because I've been doing this for so long, my body, it goes to different tones, right? So, which is not really the instructions that I gave. No, I mean, I did, that's fine, but, um, maybe you felt just one tone coming through. I tend to hear multiple tones, and so they just want to come through, but I'm curious if you played around with the pitches. Did you notice a difference of feeling inside between maybe higher pitches and lower pitches? I know for me, I I when I landed on those low tones at the end, it was like, oh, I just I just felt it felt so good and so comforting down in my lower body. I could really feel the energy way down low, and it's really an energy that is important for me right now because I've been traveling a lot and moving around, and so in other people's places and spaces and not feeling grounded very much. And so it was very soothing to feel those really deep tones and that sensation of just like dropping into my lower body. Yeah. Yeah. Did anyone else notice anything like that?
So the others are invited to say something or write something. And yes, for sure. So, I work with, I'm not singing maybe, but with using the voice I do since, I don't know. And for me, it is like I see vibrations, like I feel the tones, I see colors. It's depending on, and there are so many dimensions for me to get in contact with not even my body, with other spheres of being and so on. It's really, I love toning and vibration. Sound is absolutely for me, yeah, go for it. That's the picture is not it's like a pattern of unfolding tones, isn't
Yeah.
it? For me, it
Yes.
is.
Yes, everyone's different. Everyone's different. When I've been saying all along, we all experience the sounds of our voice in a very unique way. It's very unique to each one of us. How it feels, how we perceive it, the energy that's behind it. And I was also curious if anyone found themselves either really kind of maybe being a little withholding or holding back at first, and did it help as you went along to allow more sound to come through? Was there anything like that, like emotionally? Did you notice anything? Did it feel like a release, or were you judging yourself? Right? Or so many things could be going on.
Namio, before you start, Andreas wrote in the chat in the beginning, I toned very deep in my belly until my voice strings were clear. And then I lifted up. Great.
Beautiful. Nice.
Naomi. Schon wieder. Namio.
Ich sage immer, wenn ich Naomi heißen würde, wäre ich ziemlich reich, ne? Ja. Ähm, also für mich war es so, for me, it was like this. Out of my inside, there came a collection of tones, and they repeat in a loop, like weaving a baby to the right side, and then in an eight to the left side.
Cool.
I can make an example, but I don't know if you can hear me.
We can try. Sure.
La, 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 la. No. I can't repeat it. It was a deeper tone, and
Yeah.
it was a little bit like an Indian woman singing for the inner child.
Ooh, beautiful. How nice. Maybe part of your soul from another place in time.
Mhm.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you for sharing, both of you.
Mhm.
Yeah, all of you. Yeah, all of you.
Just let's close down the session with Carol because I just see we have 7 past 8, and then I promised her that we close the room at 8 o'clock. Sorry,
Yeah.
Carol, I'm just
It's
shocked right now.
okay. It's okay. I mean, time, what is time? You know, it's warping more and more every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's especially when you go into a space, when we go into a space like that, it becomes timeless, right? We just kind of lose ourselves in that beautiful energetic space and that vibration, that frequency. I'm so grateful to share this space with you and to be invited to share my voice and, what I'm so passionate about in my life. I feel so blessed to be doing the work that I do. It's really what I came here for for the healing and the music and bridging those two and bringing them together and supporting people and really bringing out their voices in the world in ways that feel empowered and confident, artistic and authentic. It's such an important thing, especially these days. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for this
Thank you.
opportunity to swim in the frequencies with you all.
I'm so touched right now. I don't know really why, but I was tuned back into the listening of your voice beneath my voice. And I got some really deep pictures just right now where you shared your honoring and your thanks. And it was somehow, I was in my body as well, totally present, but you're sounding on the side next to me. It was such a great, I'm so thankful for you and this short session touched me so deep because you were like a Mother Earth's voice next to my left hand side, my female body side, my to be nurtured side, my vulnerable side. And you
Mhm.
were just whispering somehow in my ear with your tone and giving me space. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Thank you. That's so
Thank you.
beautiful. You're welcome. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. There's one thing to, use your voice and have fun and play with it on your own, but when we do it together, it's just so there's a sweetness to that. There really is. There really is. I know the feeling, which is why I love being in bands and playing and creating music with other people. And I'll just share very quickly. In the last few years, I've been leading sound meditations for groups of people. And, I always invite people to use their voice as well if they would like to. And mostly they don't, right? but there was this one time where one woman um, brought her voice into the the blend, into the soundscape with me. And for me, that was so amazing. It just because it gave me like your experience, and why I'm sharing it, because it I know that feeling. It gave me that kind of a launching pad. Like, when I heard her tone, it was like, oh, I can do this with that and make it this beautiful something, you know? Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing to make music together and use our voices collectively. Yeah. Thank you,
Absolutely.
everybody. Yeah.
And that's the reason why we said we extend the course format a little bit to those possibilities if wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So great. And what I wanted to say that there is no language barrier or translation needed for for experience like this.
Yes.
And yeah, no
Yeah.
more words needed.
Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Music is the universal language for sure.
Absolute. Absolute.
Yes. Well, I hope to see Andres and Namio maybe in our journey together in the voice alchemy, you know, journey, we'll call it experience,
It is.
and or otherwise in other moments. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much too, Carol.
You're so welcome. You're welcome.
Andreas is writing as well. Thank you very much. And a beautiful evening. Thank you. A beautiful evening to all of us. And yeah, see you around the corner just with one click or something like that. Bye
Keep
bye. Ciao,
singing,
ciao.
everybody. Keep singing.
And loving.